Hey folks, Internet Dude here. As you can see from the title, I've owned this 2012 Porsche Panamera for nearly a year and a half now, and you just haven't seen it yet. I was in the market for a German car, something refined and fun, but definitely not an SUV. I looked at Mercedes and Porsche, but never seriously considered BMW or Audi. Porsche in general stood out to me because their styling and reputation for quality. I remember sitting in a few Porsches, new ones back in 2020, and I was seriously impressed by the interiors. They felt special, even compared to other luxury brands. The Panamera caught my eye because it offers something rare, a hatchback body style with 4 doors, luxurious interior, and real driving performance. The hatch makes it super practical, way more usable than a traditional sedan, and having 4 doors makes it easy to haul passengers or toss stuff in the back seat when I need to. I was especially interested in the Panamera plug-in hybrid model because we already have a plug-in hybrid RAV4 and love how it works for us. But after doing some research, I learned that if the battery goes out, it's potentially $30,000 or more to replace it. And that's without any warranty coverage on an older model that I could afford. Since a newer Panamera under warranty wasn't in the cards financially, I decided to go for the standard Panamera 4 with the V6. I also intentionally avoided the first couple of model years, like 2010 and 2011, because new models always tend to have more issues early on. So after some searching, I landed on this 2012 Panamera 4, and I've now owned it for about a year and a half. So let's start with the pros, because honestly, there's a lot to like about this car. First off, the performance. My Panamera has the V6 engine with around 300 horsepower, and for my needs, that's plenty. It has noticeably more aggressive shifting and throttle response when you put it in Sport Plus mode, and the way it handles, especially in corners, is seriously impressive for a car of this size. It really does feel like a big sports car. The ride is definitely on the sporty side, firmer than my old Lexus ES Hybrid, but still comfortable. I find the seat comfortable and fantastic. The seats are really supportive, which makes a big difference on longer drives. I do wish it had ventilated seats, but overall the interior is one of my favorite parts of the car. The fit and finish inside is absolutely top-notch. There's a mix of real and synthetic leather everywhere, and everything you touch feels solid and well-built. Mine has the burl wood trim, which I personally really like. The gauge layout is classic Porsche with the tack front and center, and the button-heavy center console has grown on me. I know newer Panameras have moved towards fewer buttons and bigger screens, but there's something satisfying about having a physical button for everything. Speaking of the interior, the hatchback design is a huge win for me. It gives the car way more versatility than a typical sedan. Rear seat space is decent, and there are clever storage touches like the hideaway cup holders in the dash. As for the looks, I think the exterior styling has aged really well. It's instantly recognizable as a Porsche, and I've actually had strangers ask me about it or compliment it. The interior design, on the other hand, does show its age a little bit. The screen is small, and by today's standards, all those buttons do make it feel older. But I did add Apple CarPlay, so that helped bring the tech up to date. The all-wheel drive system works great. I didn't drive it too much in the winter, but when I did, it felt planted and confident. And finally, the value. I paid about $30,000 Canadian for this car a year and a half ago, and I'd estimate it's still worth somewhere around $24,000 to $26,000 today. When you think about the fact that it was a six-figure car when new, probably around $110,000 to $120,000, I feel like I got a lot of car for the money. Now let's talk about the cons, or at least things you should be aware of if you're considering one of these. First off, maintenance and repair costs are definitely higher than your average car. I'll go into more details about the specific work I've had done in another section, but generally speaking, any parts or labor for a Porsche are going to cost more, even for what you'd consider minor issues. Premium gas is another one. I know it's going to take premium, but it's still worth pointing out. Compared to my old Lexus Hybrid, which ran on regular gas and got almost double the fuel economy, there's just no comparison. The Panamera costs more to fill and burns through it a lot faster, especially if you enjoy using Sport Plus mode. Insurance also costs more than I expected. In fact, this is probably the most expensive car I've ever insured. That might vary depending on where you live, but it's something to budget for. In terms of tech, the screen size is okay. It's not huge by modern standards, but it works fine and I haven't had any issues with it. The interior as a whole doesn't feel too dated outside of the smaller screen and the button-heavy center console, but the materials and design still feel premium and hold up well. It does feel like a big car when parking, but with front and rear parking sensors, it's manageable. When I was shopping, I specifically avoided the V8 models because they're known for a certain engine issue, and I didn't want to take that risk. That said, I've had one minor issue with the PDK transmission acting up a bit when cold. It hasn't been a deal breaker, but it's something to keep an eye on. Overall, though, I've really enjoyed the car and don't regret buying it. It has its quirks and costs, but for the driving experience and quality, I think it's worth it. So in terms of maintenance and repairs, I haven't had any major breakdowns, but I've definitely put some money into maintenance and a few small fixes. Just 3 days after buying the car, I had to replace the 12-volt battery. That cost me $244. Not a huge deal, but it was the first thing to go. I also put on a new set of tires, which ran me $1,500. That was expected. These cars are heavy and need proper performance tires. I replaced the dry belt for $114 and the tensioner for $57. Again, normal wear and tear stuff. I had to replace the driver's door switches, which cost me $29, and I added puddle lights with the Porsche logo for $37. A little visual upgrade I enjoy. The new windshield was $520, which I thought was totally reasonable and pretty much in line with any other modern car. I also installed a CarPlay adapter for $362 to modernize the infotainment. Definitely worth it. The biggest cost so far was a major round of maintenance that included an oil change, a brake fluid flush, rear differential fluid flush, PDK transmission service, which includes the fluid and filter, the spark plugs, and an air filter. That full service cost $2,560, a big number, but that wasn't due to anything breaking, just a large chunk of preventative maintenance that hadn't been done yet when I bought the car. So yes, repairs and upkeep are more expensive than your average car, but for me it's been manageable. I've had no unexpected breakdowns, and I think it speaks to the importance of staying on top of the maintenance schedule. So would I buy it again? If you'd asked me that last fall, I probably would have said yes, but today, no, I wouldn't buy the car again. Not because I didn't enjoy it. The Panamera has been a fun, comfortable, and great handling car, but last fall I bought a 2015 Tesla Model S 90D that includes free lifetime supercharging, and that changed my perspective. Even though I've spent thousands of dollars in repairs on the Tesla already, it's still overall just a better car for me than this Panamera. No gas costs, fewer service items, and overall it just offers more power, tech, and a smoother, quieter drive. The Panamera still has the classic connected driving feel, but in terms of total ownership experience, the Tesla wins. Well, or an EV, really. I don't regret owning the Porsche, but if I had to do it all over again, I'd go electric, especially with free gas. As you can tell from my previous videos, I do like a wide variety of vehicles. So here's some tips for buyers in case you're thinking about buying a used Panamera like this. Here's some things to keep in mind. Avoid the earliest model years like 2010 or 11 like I did. They usually have the most kinks to work out. Stick with the V6 if you want to avoid some of the known issues that plague the V8 models. It's one of the reasons I picked the Panamera 4. Get a pre-purchase inspection from a shop that knows Porsches. That alone can save you thousands. I had a pre-purchase inspection done and asked about previous service records when I bought this one. Expect higher costs, tires, fluids, repairs, even insurance. Don't stretch your budget too thin when buying one. Look for a car with solid maintenance history. That's more important than mileage in many cases. Plan for a big service shortly after buying, unless the seller has already done that. I had to catch up on a bunch of deferred maintenance. And finally, don't buy into it thinking you're going to save money versus a new car. You buy this because you want a Porsche experience at a more affordable price, not because it's cheap to run. If you go with the right expectations, it can be a really rewarding car to own. Well, that wraps up my almost 1.5 year ownership review of my 2012 Porsche Panamera 4. I hope this helped. If you're thinking about buying one or you're just curious about what it's like to own a 13-year-old Porsche. If you got any questions or you want to share your own experience, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from other Panamera owners or people considering one. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more car content. Thanks for watching.